Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Transformation Tuesdays. I am your host, Christy Uffelman, and I am joined by the fantastic Arielle Carter. You can say hello to her.
Hi.
And I have been thinking all month about this particular live. And for those of you that have joined in the past, you know that last year on this day in 2022, I released my very first book, The Peer Revolution. And last year, when we did these lives, we were featuring the storytellers in the book, amazing graduates from our group coaching experiences who were sharing their stories of personal transformation. Tonight, on the anniversary of the book, so instead of a traditional Tuesday, if you are used to joining us on Tuesdays, you will notice today is a Thursday. And we are doing it very intentionally because tonight we're not just sharing the story of one person's transformation, but we're sharing the story of transformation of a company, which is pretty stinking cool, if you ask me. Pretty stinking cool. So I'm not going to give you any more. Consider that your teaser for the evening because the story is going to unfold as we connect. And with that, I would love nothing more than to create the space for Arielle to introduce herself to all of you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Christy, and congratulations on your 1 year anniversary for your book. So proud of you. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. As Christy mentioned, my name is Arielle Carter, and I am a group vice president at Razorfish. And I'm here today to share with you my story in terms of how the Peer Revolution book not only inspired me to have new ideas and new dreams, but to actually go for it and to put those dreams into action. And as she mentioned, not only have transformation for myself, but for my company overall as well. And this story is really important and near and dear to my heart for me to share because I've been blessed to be able to have amazing mentors throughout my life through my family members who all have been amazing trailblazers in their careers, leading all the way back to my grandparents, as well as my family members, friends, my work family. So many people have mentored me and inspired me. And so it's become not only my mission, but also the thing that fills my cup to mentor others and to give back and to pass it forward. So that's why I was so excited when one of my mentors recommended that I read the book. And then, everything kind of went from there in terms of the possibilities that were started from that.
I love that. And shout out to all the Edge grads in the house because guess what? One of her mentors was an Edge grad.
Yes, that's right. That grad mentor is the one who told me to read the book, and I'm so, so grateful that she
Uh,
did.
Mentors for me, when I think about some of the most powerful people in my life, I would agree with you. And it's the mentorship. And what I love too is that mentorship can be in our family, but it can also be in our chosen family. And sometimes we can take those mentors from one industry or one job with us in really beautiful ways.
Yes,
In really
absolutely.
beautiful ways. So let's just jump right into the story. And what do I want to say, Arielle, to kick us off? Why don't you just tell us your story in your words? Take us back to where you were before you read the book, and then what shifted as you did, and as you stepped into this space of doing it scared, being big and bold, and not having all the right answers or having a path drawn out, because I think what's really important for our community to hear, because a lot of you that are tuning in have had the opportunity to engage with peer mentoring and peer coaching because you've hired me or you've hired Edge Leadership. You've had one of our coaches come into your organization. And when I wrote the book, what I will say in terms of framing is that pre-pandemic times we had a team of coaches that were out there delivering, creating these peer mentoring and coaching circles inside of large organizations, and our target audience at the time were Fortune 500 companies because those were the organizations that had everybody remote. The companies that had everyone in the same building, gosh, I had a heck of a time trying to convince them of the value of creating peer mentoring circles inside their organization. They looked at me, they said, everybody's here, everybody's meeting for lunch, they're talking, we're good. But the larger organizations, I had a story to tell. You have women, for example, all across North America, and in each location, maybe you only have a handful. What could it be like if you brought all of them together? Well, and then the pandemic came and life shifted forever in really scary and hard and also in really amazing ways. And your story is one of those amazing ways, I think, because when we wrote the book, I wrote it with the goal of creating a how-to book that anybody could pick it up and make it work for them, whether that was their organization or their team or department or their Girl Scout troop or their school or a group of parents of transgender teens getting together and sharing best practices, that truly anyone could do it. So, with that, tell us your story, love. I'm going to stop talking. It's your turn.
Yes, no, absolutely. So excited and happy to share. So, yeah, as you sort of started to mention, right, I work at a company where I was fortunate enough to be able to not only be inspired by your book, but then actually move into action and actually do things. But I think it's important to know I am not, as you were talking about, an Edge graduate, anyone who has any formal training and coaching, anything related to HR or organizational development or anything in that wheelhouse. So the book really was my compass and my main thing that I was able to use to help me feel confident enough to be able to go to our CEO and recommend that we try a pilot to do group mentoring. So that's the first thing I want to make sure everyone's very clear on, because I know that's probably not the usual that you see, that it's someone who isn't, in one of those fields and kind of trained to be specialized in that. So that's the first thing in terms of my story. But one of the biggest things for me is I'm someone who is fueled by relationships and by meeting new people and by getting to know people. So I was just trying to find a way where I could meet more people within my organization, get outside of my bubble, and just connect with people. And the more that I started to talk to more people, the more I was hearing people being like, yeah, having more opportunities to do that. Sure, you can never have enough. Like, I would love to do that. And so that's why we went ahead and pitched to our CEO, and our goals were very modest. We were like, okay, we just want to create a program where people can connect with one another and where we can foster connection, where we can interact with and meet people from different parts of the organization that we wouldn't normally interact with. And our goal was actually to just get at least 20 people to sign up, because he was like, okay, Arielle, like, you don't have a ton of time. Like, we know this isn't really your
You got a full-time
expertise.
job, honey.
Right. You have a full time job already. So he's
And
like,
you're a mom and have a
yeah,
full-time life.
right. A mom of a very energetic 4-year old. So he's like, if you have time and passion and want to do this, like, I fully support it. So he was, one of our executive sponsors. He said, go for it. And we were very intentional in making it inclusive and open to everyone. So there was no, like, you had to be nominated or you had to apply. It was simply just an open call saying, if you're interested in joining this pilot, for people who are passionate about developing as next generation leaders and helping one another develop together, then this is the place for you to sign up. We ended up having 120 people respond to sign.
What did you think when you saw that
I
number?
will never forget that day. As I like saw the signups coming in, and we like started to get to 20, and I'm like, oh wow. And then like later in the day it was like 40, then like 80, and I'm like, I was just shocked. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was so incredible, so exciting, but also terrifying, because I'm like, okay, we signed up for this. Like, I thought I could just do this, on the side. Now, how are we going to support these 120 people who've raised their hands and said, yes, I would love to participate in this?
Yeah, because you can't
So,
facilitate that on your own.
no,
That's not
no,
one circle.
no,
That's
no. So,
12.
yes. So that's why I have to give a huge shout out to the amazing group of facilitators. We had 11 awesome, awesome next generation leaders, just incredible people step up. Some of them are on this live supporting too, so can't thank you all enough. Love you all so much and appreciate you all so much. But we had people from all different, time zones, stages in their careers, everything step up to be those facilitators. And so each one of us led our own cohorts of 10 to 12 people. And so we ended up meeting once a month. The program duration was 6 months. And so we ended up hosting 74 cohort sessions throughout the year. And I still am saying it, like I still can't believe that we did it. We did it and we got amazing, amazing feedback from the participants as well. So, I mean, that alone, it was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it. It was just incredible.
And what I heard, and what really, I mean, there's so many things that you said that resonate with me. But for those who are listening, you know that when I created this group coaching model, um, oh gosh, 16 years ago, I want to say. So this year, 2023, is the 10-year anniversary of Edge Leadership. And in the last 10 years, 10,000 leaders have gone through our group coaching programs. This doesn't count things like, superstars like Arielle, who's out there, doing this on their own, just folks who have come through us. But
Not on my own. Not on my own. Tons of help.
Razorfish doing
Tons
it
of
on its own.
other
Let's give
facilitators.
credit where credit is
Yeah.
due with
Yeah.
Razorfish. But the very first cohort that I started was a working mothers group that met in my kitchen on a monthly basis. And it was women across the generations. We had women who had infants. We had women who had toddlers, like my son Eli was at the time. We had women who had kids in high school and college, and everybody was super ambitious about their careers and trying to figure out how to be the best moms that they could be while also being the best leaders at work that they could be. And
Hmm.
why I share that is because the reason why I started it was, if I'm being really honest, out of sheer desperation, because I needed it. I needed the connection. I needed the belonging. I needed the best practices. And I couldn't find a mentor to be my be all and end all and be like, here, Christy, here's what you should be doing. And what I craved was a group of peers that were there in the, muck beside me saying, well,
Hmm.
here's what I'm doing and here's where I'm getting stuck. And gosh, you're not alone. And,
Yeah.
as you shared your story and where you were, the impetus for this was about curating connection and belonging. And it came from that space of, I would like more of this. And then you
Hmm.
stopped and looked around and said, gosh, I think a lot of people want more of this. And you started
Yeah.
talking with them. And then you had leadership that was so supportive and said, all right, let's do it.
Hmm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the thing. It's just following your instinct, following if you think that you need it and you're hearing that other people need it too, then you're probably onto something and you should definitely lean in. Lean in. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So to that point, now reflecting, you're a year out from that pilot experience that was supposed to be 20.
Right. Jokes on us.
You're reflecting back, my friend, what would you say are your top three takeaways? For those folks that are listening, what do you wish you would have known when? And why are these particular takeaways so powerful that you want to share them with us tonight?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, like I said, if you have a hunch, if you have any desire to get more, or there are things that you're hungry for, to reach out and to see what you can do to make it happen and get that support. Because one of the biggest takeaways for us out of this program was just, as we mentioned, not only the 120 people who raised their hand, but the diversity among those people. We had people, because that was like my dream. And everyone, I think, kind of looked at me like, wait, so this program's going to have anyone and everyone. And I'm like, yeah, anyone who is in and passionate about it and wants to sign up, like, we're going to have them. We're going to figure out a way to make it work, make sure we have the cohort set up where people, feel comfortable and that it's the right mix of people, so we don't have all people who all already know each other and things like that. But we had people from all different levels in the organization, all different stages in their career, different tenures too. That was incredible. We saw there were some people who had been like, I've been with Razorfish for a very, very long time, but we had some people who were like, yeah, I just joined like last month, or like I've been here for less than 6 months. And it was like, first of all, just so humbling and like incredible to see the bravery that they're like, sure, I'll sign up for this pilot program. Like, why not? How incredible. But also the amazing perspective that they brought as people who are new
Sure.
to the organization, and bringing all the amazing experiences that they had, prior to joining us, and being able to create that connection among people. And
Well,
we had
think
people from
about
all different locations as well. It was just,
amazing. And think,
yeah.
as you were saying that, and thank you for the grace in interrupting you there. I was
Yeah,
just
no, no.
imagine what a beautiful onboarding experience that was for them.
Right. Right. I'm sure. I mean, I would have loved to, yeah, back in the day have that. I mean, right. Yeah. It was so fun. So fun. So that was one of the biggest things. And like, I think one of the things that was like you say, a dream come true, my like total dream come true, that we ended up actually having people from all over the company want to participate. And the other big thing was we also did a live feedback session at the end. It was actually a recommendation from someone in our talent leadership team, who she was so excited about the program. She was like, I would love for us to just hear live from people, like what they loved, what they would love to see more of, so that we could, use all of that feedback to help feed into the future of the program. And so we did. And we created the ability for people to do polls where they could interactively kind of share. And we asked people to just use one word to describe the program. And some of the things that were popping the most were words like obviously supportive, but other things like connection, that it was energizing, that it was enlightening, like just the most incredible things in terms of the impact that it had on people. And then like drilling down even more. I know, right? It's
I'm
just
sorry.
incredible. I know, no, it feels like a dream, like sharing all of this. Like it's just so crazy. But the other like biggest takeaway was that we surveyed people like qualitatively and quantitatively, like via just a regular survey for people who couldn't join live. And the majority of people, I think it was like 76% of people, said that they actually changed the way that they approach their careers and opportunities because of their experience in the program, and like just the support and connection and advice that they got from that group mentoring experience. So like that alone, it was like, if anything, like the fact that we were able to just like give people a different perspective and way of thinking about their careers and about the opportunities ahead, like just gives me chills. Like just talking about it. So, so, so exciting and amazing.
So transformational. And I love to, and I got totally emotional, and I'm sorry, not sorry at that, listening to you.
Right.
It's such a powerful story. And what I love, is how inclusive it is. And, as humans, at the end of the day, we are human beings and we are whole people, personal and professional. And you better believe that's what's happening at work comes to my personal life with Kevin and Eli. And you better believe what's cooking with them, I bring to work every day. And so the
Hmm.
opportunity to see with a capital S, like truly see your work colleagues as humans, as people, and connect with them on that level, and to give yourself permission to lean into vulnerability and to show up with
Hmm.
one another. I mean, companies all over the world are talking about retention and mobility and engagement, and you are doing it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's
It's all 120 of us. It takes a village. Like we're
yes.
all supporting, mentoring, helping one another.
Yeah, and
It's
everyone is doing it because they have agency. That line I
awesome.
really wanna underscore when you say that 78% of folks have transformed the way that they look at their careers. That
Hmm.
means they're not waiting for HR to tell them what they should do next,
Right.
or their boss to tell them. They are, choosing that for themselves with that agency, feeling empowered, educating themselves with their peers, saying, all right, we're all moving through this crazy labyrinth, but we're not doing it alone. We're locking arms and we're moving through it together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, it is time to close out. I can't even believe that. As we close out, my friend, Arielle Carter, if you could share one piece of advice from this journey, one thing you wish you would have known when, for someone who is out there listening, what's the one thing you would leave them with?
Yeah, amazing question. I would say I'm going to, in the spirit of my mentor, pay it forward and say if any of this excites you, sparks something in you, and you haven't read the book yet, I highly encourage getting it. I personally had it downloaded on my phone so that I could read it as I was on the go and highlight things and also listen to it too. So that was my method. But whatever works for you, I say definitely not only pick it up and read it or pass it along to someone else you're mentoring or you're close with, maybe who you think it would resonate with. And then most importantly, just act on it. If you're inspired, if you feel spidey senses, anything that like, maybe this would make sense for my organization or a group that I'm part of or anything like that, just go for it. Because if I didn't, we never would have done it. We never would have been able to have the impact that we did on 120 people and more to come, in this coming year. So I just say go for it. Don't think twice. Don't doubt yourself. Just do it and it will work out the way it's supposed to. And your village, your right people will come together to help you bring the vision to life. So yeah.
Beautiful. Well, with that, folks, I'm going to close us out and say, in those words, just go for it. Whatever that may be in your life right now, consider this our message to you. The universe is speaking through us. Maybe it's about the book, maybe it's about peer coaching and mentoring, maybe it's about something else entirely. But what does it look like to do it anyway? To leap anyway, to say it anyway. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to have the idea and then go for it. With that, thank you so much, my new
Thank
friend, for
you.
joining us. And thank you to everyone for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
I was saying to Arielle as we were prepping right before this session and preparing to go live, I'm super emotional today because this is a dream come true. This is everything that I hoped for coming to fruition. That somebody could read the book and you don't need me or a coach to do it, that you can do it on your own. Just thank you to the leadership team at Razorfish, to all of the amazing facilitators who stepped up in your day jobs to take on a cohort, to everyone who leaned into vulnerability and gave yourself permission to show up and be seen. And most important, as Arielle just said, to live brave. Have a wonderful week, everyone. We'll see you next month.
Amazing. Thank you.
So long until next time. For